Picture this, a college student knee-deep in textbooks and assignments, and suddenly the phone rings. It's the boss asking if they can cover a shift at work. Now let's add a dash of humor to this all-too-familiar scene. Imagine our beleaguered student, let's call her Megan, rushing off to her job at the local sandwich shop, still muddled from an intense study session. As she's constructing a masterpiece of a sandwich for a hungry customer, she reaches for the mustard and lo and behold, she hands over a sociology textbook instead. The customer, bemused, asks, "Is this a new kind of sandwich filling?" Megan, realizing her mistake, laughs and says, "No, just a side of knowledge." Or picture this, Megan, in the middle of an important calculus exam, reaches into her bag for her scientific calculator. With a confident grin, he pulls out her sandwich shop apron. The professor, looking over, just shakes her head and chuckles. Megan, blushing furiously, rummages around and finally finds her calculator buried under a pile of sandwich wrappers. These amusing anecdotes may make us chuckle, but they also highlight a serious issue faced by countless students worldwide. The juggling act of balancing study and work commitments is no easy task. It's like being a circus performer, spinning multiple plates at once. Drop one and the whole act could come crashing down. It's not just about keeping the plates spinning either. It's about finding the rhythm, the harmony between the two. It's about learning to transition smoothly from one role to another, from student to worker and back again. It's about mastering the art of balance. But remember, even the best jugglers drop a plate or two in their time. It's not the end of the world. Mistakes are learning opportunities, chances to refine our technique and improve our performance. It's a classic case of the study-work conundrum, a situation many of us can relate to. Imagine walking a tightrope with your studies on one side and your work on the other. It's a delicate balance, isn't it? The tightrope is thin and wobbly, just like the fine line students tread between studying and working. Each step is crucial, each movement calculated. A slight tilt to the left and you're engrossed in your books, losing yourself in equations and theories. But lean too far and you might stumble, your grades could suffer, and the dreams you're chasing might start to blur. Then there's the right side, the world of work. One step towards it and you're plunged into a sea of responsibilities, deadlines, meetings, and the constant pressure to perform. It's thrilling, it pushes you, it gives you a taste of the real world. But lean too much on this side, and you might lose your footing. You're exhausted, burnout creeps in, and the tightrope seems to sway more than ever. You see, this walk isn't just about moving forward, it's about maintaining equilibrium. It's about understanding that while studies equip you with knowledge, work imparts valuable life skills. Both are crucial and both demand your time and effort. The trick is to balance, to shuffle and adjust, to ensure you're not leaning too much on either side. The consequences of losing this balance can be severe. Fall off, and you could end up feeling overwhelmed and stressed. Your academic performance might dip and your work could suffer. Your mental health might take a hit, and it could seem like you're spiraling, unable to climb back onto the tightrope. But remember, this walk isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about learning to distribute your weight evenly, to keep your head held high and to keep moving, one step at a time. It's about understanding that it's okay to wobble, to lose balance momentarily, as long as you pick yourself back up and continue your walk. Striking a balance between studies and work is not a luxury but a necessity. It's the key to a fulfilling college experience and the secret to mastering the art of the tightrope walk. So, how does one master this balancing act? Is there a secret formula, a magic trick perhaps? Well, let's dive in and explore some strategies that might just help us become maestros of balance. First and foremost, let's talk about time management. Imagine your day as a 24-piece puzzle. Each piece represents an hour. Some pieces are already filled with unavoidable tasks like eating, sleeping, and commuting. Now it's your job to arrange the remaining pieces in a way that fits your work and study commitments. The trick is not just to fill in the pieces, but rather to do so in a way that fits together seamlessly without causing stress or burnout. Next, we move on to setting priorities. Not all tasks are created equal, and understanding this is crucial. Picture yourself standing in front of a dartboard. The bullseye represents your most important tasks, the ones that absolutely must get done. The outer rings represent less critical tasks. Your goal is to hit the bullseye more often than not. This doesn't mean ignoring the outer rings, but rather knowing when to aim for them. Now, on to the gem in our crown of strategies, self-care. It's easy to overlook this one, especially when you're juggling multiple roles. But remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Self-care isn't just about bubble baths and spa days, though those are great too. It's about ensuring your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It's about taking breaks, eating well, and getting enough sleep. It's about saying no when you need to, and yes to things that bring you joy. So there you have it, a trifecta of strategies: time management, setting priorities, and self-care. These are not magic tricks, but practical steps towards mastering the art of balance. But remember, balance isn't a one-size-fits-all concept, it's a personal journey, a bespoke fit. Remember, the art of balance is not about perfection, but about finding what works best for you. Finding your balance might take some trial and error, some readjusting, and that's perfectly okay. After all, even the best tightrope walkers wobble occasionally. Speaking of finding what works best, let's hear from those who've been there and done that. Picture Lucy, a full-time student working 2 part-time jobs to make ends meet. She had her share of late nights and early mornings, but she found solace in her routine, a rhythm that resonated with her need for structure and discipline. She faced challenges, sure, but she also discovered her resilience, her capacity to persevere. Today, Lucy is a successful entrepreneur, attributing her success to those grueling years of juggling textbooks and timesheets. Then there's Mike, a single father working a demanding job while pursuing a degree in computer science. His journey wasn't easy, but he learned to prioritize, to make the most of his time. He learned to study during lunch breaks, to listen to lectures while commuting. His son became his inspiration, his driving force. Today, Mike is a software engineer at a prestigious tech company. He not only provided a better life for his son, but also set a remarkable example of determination and hard work. And who could forget Sarah? A dedicated nurse, she decided to advance her career by taking up further studies. Nights were long and the workload was heavy, but she found strength in her passion to help others. She learned to balance her shifts with her studies, to manage her energy and focus. Today, Sarah holds a leadership position in her field, inspiring other nurses with her story of perseverance and growth. These are but a few stories from the front lines of the study-work battleground. Each person faced their unique set of challenges, but they all found their way, their balance. They didn't just survive, they thrived. They turned their struggles into stepping stones, their obstacles into opportunities. These stories are proof that achieving a study-work balance is not only possible, but also rewarding. So we've laughed, we've empathized, and we've learned. But what's the big deal about study-work balance anyway? Well, let's dive right into it. Picture this: a tightrope walker precariously perched, maintaining a perfect equilibrium. That's a bit like us, isn't it? Balancing our studies with our work commitments, and if we're lucky, squeezing in a bit of me time. But why is this balance so crucial? Firstly, there's the academic angle. When we achieve a healthy balance between work and studies, we're better able to focus on our tasks at hand. The mind is like a muscle. It needs periods of rest to recover and grow stronger. By taking breaks from studying to work, or vice versa, we're actually giving our brain the rest it needs to absorb information more effectively. So in essence, balance can lead to better academic performance. Now let's talk about productivity at work. It's easy to think that working longer hours means getting more done. But that's not always the case. Just like with studying, our brains need a break from work to perform at their best. When we balance work with studies, we're providing that much-needed respite. This can lead to increased productivity, better work quality, and even a boost in creativity. But the benefits of balance don't stop there. There's also the aspect of overall wellness. A balanced lifestyle promotes mental health by reducing stress and burnout. It gives you the time to engage in activities you love outside of work and studies, leading to more satisfaction and happiness. It's about more than just juggling responsibilities. It's about nurturing the different aspects of our lives and ourselves. In essence, a study-work balance is your ticket to a happier, healthier, and more successful life. It's not just about surviving the juggle or walking the tightrope. It's about thriving in all areas of your life. So keep that balance and watch how it transforms your world. Remember, it's not a race, it's a journey, and balance is the key that unlocks the door to success. As we wrap up, let's revisit the key points we've discussed. We started our journey with the juggling act, exploring the challenges of balancing work and study. We've all felt like circus performers at times, trying to keep multiple balls in the air. But remember, the act of juggling is not just about keeping the balls in the air, It's about maintaining a rhythm. This rhythm is what we call balance. Next, we tiptoed our way through the tightrope walk. Navigating between the two poles of work and study is not unlike walking a thin, precarious line. It's a delicate act that requires focus, determination, and above all, balance. In the third scene, we delved into mastering the art of balance. We learned that balance isn't something you just stumble upon, but something you consciously work towards. It's about setting priorities, managing time effectively, and knowing when to say no. Balance is not just a state of being, but an ongoing process. Then we heard inspiring stories from the front line. We listened to the tales of individuals who have successfully balanced work and study and came out the other side stronger and more resilient. These stories serve as a beacon of hope, reminding us that with the right strategies and mindset, balance is indeed achievable. In the penultimate scene, we discussed the power of balance. A balanced lifestyle not only helps us survive the rigors of work and study, but also allows us to thrive. It boosts our productivity, enhances our mental health, and ultimately leads to a more fulfilling life. Remember, the juggling act is not easy, but with the right balance, you'll not only survive, but thrive. Here's to mastering the art of study-work balance.